You didn't achieve anything with
this
this.
topic. So we have someone that actually knows a lot more about this than we all do. He is the Oh my God, can I show you the number first before I start talking? That's the number right there. He is Venus's hidden partner. His name is Jermaine, and his brother actually is Serena's hidden partner too. So
is he like her current hidden partner?
Yeah, cool. Current hidden partner. So he will be on the. What are we calling him?
And what's his name?
Jermaine.
Jermaine?
Yep.
Hello?
Hello? Is this Jermaine?
Yes.
Hi, this is Yetunde, and we're on air right now with the podcast with Corey and G Wale.
Oh,
thanks
how's
for
it
taking
going,
our
everybody?
call.
Hey, how's it going, Jermaine? Thanks for taking our call.
Hey, thanks for having me.
No problem.
How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia right now.
Oh, okay,
visiting my parents. Just having a great time here.
Okay, that's nice.
Okay. All right, so we hear you're Serena's sparring.
Venus.
Sorry, Venus's sparring partner.
Yeah, so I'm Venus' sparring partner, and my younger brother is Serena's sparring partner.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Okay.
For those who don't know what that is, could you just explain real quick?
Okay, so a sparring partner is basically kind of like a trainer. You have dual roles. You're a trainer. You have to basically play better than they play to kind of size up to their competition. Sometimes we have to imitate their competition before a match. Just from everything to physical in the gym, just making sure, just filling in any gaps that need to be filled in.
Cool. And how long have you been doing this for, if I may ask?
I've been doing this for 3 years now.
Okay.
Oh,
That's good.
how did you get into it?
Crazy story. I had a childhood friend who was Serena's hidden partner at the time.
Oh.
And I visited him in West Palm Beach, just randomly went down to play golf with him. And I ended up at a party with Venus and Serena. And I had no idea what was going on, but after the party, Venus basically said, "Hey, I heard you can play. Would you be willing to practice with me on Monday?"
Oh, wow.
And
just like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I practiced with her, and one thing led to a next, one gig led to a next, and here I am.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Congratulations.
Right?
But that's interesting. You said sometimes you have to mimic like who their opponents are gonna be, right? Like what's that? So do you usually have to like study game tape? You have to study game tape for stuff like that?
Right, exactly. From a tactical standpoint, let's say, I don't know how much you guys know about tennis, but let's just say the girl, her next opponent hits the ball slower, a lot more off pace, a lot more spin.
Okay.
So I would have to mimic that. And then let's say maybe her opponent just hits the ball hardest they can and a lot of power. So
can I ask you something? In terms of women's tennis and men's tennis, like can you because people try to make this argument about, if you're the greatest in women's tennis, then you can be the greatest in men's tennis. Like just in terms of the difficulty, how would you compare the two?
In my opinion, I don't think that's really a comparison. What separates Venus and Serena is their ability to serve well.
Okay.
They're just a lot stronger on their serve. On the men's side, they hit the ball a lot heavier and it's more physical.
Okay.
And most of the men are, I hate to sound sexist, but most of the men are a lot more athletic.
That's fine. We have
Venus
different
and
bodies.
Serena's,
It's not the same body type.
They have a little advantage on that, would you say?
They have an advantage on the serve, and Serena definitely has a physical advantage. She's just so strong.
So can I ask you something? Do you watch the U.S. Open final?
I did.
So just from a tactical perspective, what would you say was what made Osaka more dominant in that game? Because she generally was dominant for the most part.
Like the first.
So what would you say? So what was the key thing that she did right that maybe Serena might not have been prepared for?
Honestly, Naomi's a big hitter. She's very powerful. She's fast. I think
she's
that
kinda
Naomi
little, though.
played within herself. I
Okay.
think that's the best thing that she did.
Okay.
She didn't try like to play, outside of herself. She kind of like made Serena play a lot of balls, got a lot of balls back, and I think Serena was very anxious and nervous, and she wasn't on her A game.
Right.
And the opportunity was there, and Naomi played well that day, and Serena did.
That's
Good
fine.
answer.
That's fair. So, what would you about the umpire and the call he made? What was I guess?
Man.
Hey, if you
You know
can't
that was
talk
gonna
about
come-
it,
you know
we
that was gonna come up.
understand.
Just imagine being at the Super Bowl and, the referee comes out and says, you know what, Tom Brady, we're going to give the other team a touchdown, with 4 minutes. Fourth quarter, 1 minute left on the clock, I think it was pretty outrageous.
Okay. So, but is it unprecedented? Are you saying that no umpire has ever? Because if you're comparing to football, we know no referee has ever done that in football. Are you saying no umpire has ever given a game deduction before, ever?
I think in sports is, most umpires assess the situation. This is a Grand Slam finals, and I get you have to abide by the rules. But I think that there should be some leniency, or there should be some compromise in there. I think the umpire could have said, you know what, hey, Serena, I don't want to do this, but, if you continue to act this way, I'm going to be forced to, code you. I think there was never, willingness for the umpire to work with her.
So he could have used his discretion, basically, is what you're saying, but he didn't.
Right.
No, he
Right,
did use
right.
his discretion.
Because
technically.
Well, he didn't.
Earlier that week on the men's side, you had an umpire come down. I don't know if you guys know Nick Kyrgios, but you had an
Yes.
umpire come down and get out of his chair and beg the man to try and play.
So do you,
and
do
here
you
you
think
have.
the
Go ahead.
umpire was being sexist, or do you think he was just on a no nonsense day?
In other words, do you think the umpire hates women?
or he?
No
No,
one said
that's
that.
strong.
Really,
That's a strong
Corey?
word.
I don't
Corey.
think so.
But do you think he was
Who
just
said
being,
that?
hey, today I'm just not hearing it. I'm not having it today.
Yeah, I mean, he has a very good rapport on the umpire. He's very professional, has a very good track record. I just think it was a bad judgment call on that day.
Okay.
So that's
But he
that's fair.
played between. He wasn't out of the rules. Like he played within the rules of the sport.
Of course.
Okay.
So I'm gonna, because I don't want you saying anything. I'm not trying to have you ruin your relationship with the Williams sisters, but I do have a question, just in terms of, do you think Serena might have lost a step, like just in the past year?
What does that mean?
Like
That's a really good question. Here's the thing. I look at Serena as a person on the come up again.
okay,
And if you hear her say it, she continues to say, I'm just getting started. I feel like she's come a long way considering having a baby and her body was out of whack
She
and
has.
just trying to regain that confidence. But I think she's light years ahead of anyone else that will be in the same, situation.
I would agree.
That's fair.
I definitely would agree. I that's the one thing, I can never take away her greatness. I think she's still the greatest to ever play the sport, in the female profession. So
But to answer your question, for sure she's lost a step, but I think she's regaining it.
That's
do you see any more Grand Slams in her future, or do you think is this one of those things where is there a possibility that maybe she's maybe on the decline? You know how people peak in their careers. Do you think that she
sure.
can still peak?
I think that she's just at a level to where she's so ahead of most of the competition that she doesn't need to be. I think that she can win any given week.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. But Venus retired, right?
No, did you retire?
I thought
No,
she
actually,
retired
that's
at one point.
the I don't know what word I'm looking for, but that's like very
Misconception?
misleading because
Oh.
we had the opportunity to win 3 majors last year. She was in the finals of Wimbledon last year. She was in the finals of the Australian Open. She lost to her sister. And she was in the finals of the championships in Singapore last year. You know, I think Serena overshadows a lot, but I think that's a great effort on Venus' part to still be playing, and even though she's paved the way, you know.
Right.
At a high level.
And despite her illness, everything, right? She's still
Absolutely.
getting there. Because I know how autoimmune diseases can be sometimes. You have good days and you have bad days. And I actually think that's awesome that she's still getting to finals despite the issue. I mean, the illness and everything. So that's awesome.
I have a question. I don't know if you'll be able to answer, but or if you would want to answer. But with the way the game ended, do you think with what transpired between Serena and the umpire kind of put an asterisk over Naomi's win?
That's a good question. I think deep down inside, I feel Naomi probably feels like, man, like, you know, like, I don't know. She's got to feel some type of way,
I think
Right.
so.
you know. And I think that Serena was setting it up for one of the biggest comebacks, you know, in a Grand Slam final. And, you know, having that game taken away, I mean, that kind of leaves a asterisk, you know. But all credit to Naomi, you know. At the end of the day, she got it done.
She did.
She did. Her first
She
Grand
sure
Slam.
All right, man. Thank you.
Well,
Thanks for
Jermaine,
taking our
thanks
call.
for taking our call.
No problem.
And-
Thanks
Say
for
hi
having
to
me.
Venus for
yeah,
us
this
and
was fun.
Serena.
And you know what? We're probably going to be having a long running discussion about these kind of topics. If we can have you call in again sometime in the future.
Absolutely, and I would love for my brother, who actually trains with Serena.
Oh yeah, that would be
Maybe
great.
we can get him to call in as well.
Yes,
Sure,
thank
that'd
you
be great.
so much. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
calling.
Yeah,
Thanks,
no
Jermaine.
problem.
All right,
All right,
have a good
guys,
day.
take care. Thanks
All right.
again.
All right, man.
Bye.
All right, yep.
See, I wasn't an asshole.
Uh-huh.
Look at Yeti. Yeti was like, "Man, don't be an asshole."
I mean, I'm just saying. Just
Yo, but G, what happened to your accent there, man? Your accent
No,
kind of
because-
you kind of switched.
The guy was giving us yaki accent, so I had to give my own back.
You have to give them back. But you know, it's funny because that's what happens, right? With a lot of Nigerians do
I don't
when
have
I
a
talk
problem with
to
that, though.
when I'm talking to Americans, my accent changes.
Yeah, I don't have a
So
problem
then,
with it.
why were
I only
you
have a
getting
problem when you do it to
on,
me.
Exactly. So, well,
Yeah, when you
if
do it
you're
to
both
me, yeah.
Nigerian,
Yeah.
you shouldn't
Yes.
code switch and try to be fake with me.
no.
But if I'm talking to an American,
Yeah.
it switches
No,
up
but
a
the reason
little
why
bit.
the reason why I do that is because I know that if I talk in my regular accent,
They
they're
won't
gonna be like,
understand.
"Huh?" They're gonna be like, "Huh?"
Yeah, and I'm not about to on my own podcast. with
So
him,
I
man.
try
That's
to
the
kind
thing. I don't
of.
even know when I do it
But
anymore.
we shouldn't have
It's
to do that. You know
but
that,
you
right?
shouldn't have
Eventually,
to.
have
we
to.
have look. They say we have a strong accent. I think we pronounce words. We pronounce it with a lot of emphasis, and you know, it's a lot of power and.
But do you
So you might not catch it.
Do you realize it when you're doing it? I don't think I.
No, you don't
I
realize. No.
even see-
My intentions weren't to be. Oh, I'm going to give
Right, and
this
that's the
guy-
thing.
No,
I don't
no, I
realize
know.
what I'm
But
doing anymore.
and he understood everything.
Right, he
the way
understood
I-
everything you're
so-
saying. But I feel like even now when I'm talking to my fellow Nigerians,
Yes.
I don't think I sound. Quote,
No,
unquote,
your brain just kind of
American and-
switches.
Your brain
You
kinda
understand? Ah, this is
switches,
Nigerian
yeah.
person.
So right now
it
that I'm
does.
talking to you, do you think I'm sounding more Nigerian or I'm sounding more
sound-
American?
You're more. I think for you, yours
It's a
is
little
more
different,
is
even.
actually more even.
Until you start speaking fast.
Yes.
Well,
it's
I
when
do
you start
speak
speaking
very
Yeah,
fast.
when you start
yeah.
speaking fast.
It's when you
Yeah.
start speaking fast.
Then
But
you
I
hear it.
think
That's-
we're due for a break
Music
right now.